My love of birds probably came from my youth. And it's thanks to my mom, who had a love of birds and had a passion for attracting them to our backyard.
Bob Mulvihill's childhood passion for birds, courtesy of his mother, evolved into a career. One of his interests as an ornithologist at the National Aviary is helping people enjoy birds in their own backyards.
What are some of the things that they can do to bring birds closer to the house?
Really the main thing is to provide some habitat, and habitat provides cover and it provides some kind of food. Birds need it to be a little messy. They like some shrubs. They like a complicated, habitat where you have maybe some low grass, but then some shrubs at a lower level, and then some small trees, and then maybe a background of taller trees.
You'll attract many more birds by placing your feeders properly, but it's also important to make the right choice when it comes to a food source.
The number one thing to put in bird feeders is sunflower seed, and I would recommend the small black oil sunflower seed. The black oil is a nice seed that feeds a lot of birds and has a high fat content. And bird feeding is important, but just as important is providing fresh water for birds.
And during the winter, that means using a heater to keep the bird bath from freezing. Birds are also sensitive to other things in the environment.
And importantly, keep your backyard a safe place for birds. So don't apply a lot of chemical pesticides and herbicides. They could actually be harmed by that.
And what does he hope people get from their time watching the birds?
Just satisfaction and pleasure. I mean, simple as that. Put bird feeders out and they will come, and it's like all of a sudden you've got this experience of these lively animals at your window or just outside your window, and you can't help but find that enjoyable.
There are a couple of very special birds he wants people to see also. 2 bald eagles have nested in haze. Bob takes plenty of people down the Three Rivers Heritage Trail to see them in person, but there's also a way to see the majestic birds close up from the comfort of home.
The bald eagles in haze now have a nest cam trained on their new nest. You can turn that thing on and watch this pair, moving the nesting material around. They haven't laid an egg yet. It's a pretty special experience.
For decades, Bob has dedicated himself to teaching people about the birds. But like most scientists, his curiosity drives him to unlock the secret of the birds and what they can tell us about ourselves.
There's a lot of mysteries about birds yet in the Pittsburgh area, and this whole idea of how birds use urban spaces is so important. Because quality of life in urban spaces for human beings is very important. If we can make the lives of birds better in the Pittsburgh region, you are making the lives of the people better.
WQED's own Kate St. John writes a bird blog that's read by birders all over the area. We walk through Shenley Plaza on a cold, brisk day to talk about her relationship with the birds.
Where did your love affair with birds come from?
When I was a little kid, I fell in love with birds because they fly. And since then, I've fallen in love with peregrine falcons because they are very charismatic birds, and they live here at the University of Pittsburgh all year.
What is it about this bird that connects with you?
Oh, it's just the most beautiful bird, the fastest bird on earth. It's hard to say how wonderful they are.
And is it all the way up at the top?
Yeah, they live up there. They stay up there all year. There's one up there right now, but it's such a cold day, she's roosting. She's decided it's a good day.
I wish I was roosting.
It's a good day for a nap because it's so cold. And here goes some of the things she might eat.
Like bald eagles, peregrine falcons were in serious trouble for decades, but have made a comeback with the elimination of DDT. She writes about their return and many other topics.
I blog every day. It's called Outside My Window, and it's really popular as far as I can tell. It's very cool. I've actually learned a whole lot by doing a blog.
And what she learns gets passed on to her readers.
I have a deep curiosity about nature, and it's really exciting to me to learn new things about it and to see new things.
But even though she loves spreading the word and learning new things, there's something else these birds can provide.
Birds tend to make me happy when I see them. If there's a trouble in my head, I see a bird, I forget about it.
Ryan, look, come here, hairy woodpecker.
Jim Hausman is relatively new to birding, but he's caught the bug and is enjoying soaking up as much as he can about the birds.
Is there a way to put it into words, once you do get into birding, what that love of the birds is for you?
It's poetry for me, I think. When you look at a bird and you begin to interpret the bird, if you will, and you're putting all these clues together to come to an ID, it's a very literary experience.
His two boys, Ryan and James, have embraced their dad's love of birds too.
And it's not even so much about the birds at that moment. I mean, we were just spending time together, enjoying each other's company. The birds are an excuse to do that. But we've had some very good memories. I remember this summer banding birds with Bob Mulvihill, watching the joy on Ryan's face as he got to hold a little bird in his hands and put it right up to next to his face, and just the sheer joy and laughter that was coming from him. Moments like that are things that I will remember as a father for the rest of my life.
And for 7-year-old James, these memories might last just as long.
Tell me about the feeling when you and your dad are together and you see a bird you've never seen before. What is that like?
That's like I've opened up a portal to a new world, and I'm able to figure out what's inside, and I'm able to figure out what it's like. Because the bird, I'm trying to figure out what the bird's like.
When he spots a new bird with his sons and they identify it, there's a wonderful bonding happening. It's these times together which enrich both father and son.
It's those small moments that I think, make not only life, but this hobby worthwhile. You treasure them because you don't know when you're going to get it again.